Spiritual growth is often marked by trials that test the limits of your mind, heart, and soul. These challenges are universal, yet deeply personal, revealing the essence of who we are. Here are the 7 hardest spiritual tests that push individuals to their limits and, when embraced, lead to profound transformation. Solitude is one of the most profound tests of the spirit. Being alone forces individuals to face their innermost thoughts without the distractions of the outside world. This can be both liberating and terrifying. For many, solitude amplifies insecurities and fears, creating an internal battle with self-doubt and loneliness. Enduring this test means learning to find peace in your own company. The absence of external validation requires you to define your worth independently. Over time, solitude can become a sanctuary, teaching you to rely on your inner strength. It's here that you discover the difference between being alone and being lonely. Meditation and mindfulness are powerful tools during this test. When you focus inward, you gain clarity about who you are beyond social roles and expectations. This clarity brings freedom and self-reliance, allowing you to connect with others from a place of authenticity rather than need. Many fail this test because they fear the emptiness they feel in solitude. However, those who embrace it discover the richness of their inner world. They learn that solitude is not a void to be filled but a canvas on which they can create their deepest desires. This test also teaches the impermanence of connection. It helps individuals accept that, at the core, we are all alone in our journey. Embracing this truth doesn't diminish the value of relationships but enhances the appreciation of the time we share with others. Ultimately, the test of solitude is about learning to be whole on your own. It's a journey of self-acceptance and an opportunity to find inner peace that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Letting go is a painful yet necessary spiritual test. It requires releasing attachments to people, possessions, and even beliefs that no longer serve you. This test often comes with grief, as letting go feels like a loss, even when it's for your highest good. This challenge asks, what are you clinging to, and why? Many people fear letting go because they equate it with failure or weakness. In reality, it's an act of courage, requiring you to trust that something better awaits beyond the familiar. Relationships are often at the heart of this test. Whether it's a toxic partnership or unfulfilled expectations, letting go means facing the discomfort of change. It's an acknowledgement that holding on can be more painful than releasing. Material possessions are another area where this test manifests. Simplifying your life and detaching from the need for things to define your worth can be incredibly liberating. Minimalism is not just about reducing clutter but also about freeing your mind from dependency. The hardest part of this test is surrendering control. We often hold on because we believe we can fix, change, or salvage what's slipping away. Letting go requires faith in the flow of life and the understanding that not everything is meant to stay. As you navigate this test, you begin to see that letting go is not about giving up, it's about making space. When you release what's weighing you down, you open yourself to receive what's truly meant for you. Letting go is a continuous process. It's not a one-time act but a practice of trusting the unfolding of life. Those who pass this test emerge lighter, freer, and more aligned with their true purpose. Patience is a spiritual test that many struggle with in a fast-paced world. It challenges your ability to trust divine timing rather than forcing outcomes according to your schedule. This test often feels like a delay or even a punishment, but it's a profound lesson in trust. Patience reveals your relationship with control. When things don't happen as planned, it's easy to fall into frustration or despair. The test of patience requires you to surrender your need for immediate gratification and trust the process of life. This test is often accompanied by uncertainty. Whether you're waiting for love, success, or healing, patience demands that you hold faith in what you cannot see. It asks you to believe that everything is happening as it should, even if it's not on your timeline. The lessons of patience are taught through repeated experiences. You may find yourself in situations where progress seems slow or obstacles appear insurmountable. These moments are opportunities to practice endurance and resilience. Meditation and gratitude are powerful allies during this test. Focusing on the present moment instead of anxiously anticipating the future helps you appreciate what you already have. Gratitude shifts your perspective, reminding you of the abundance already in your life. Failure in this test often comes from impatience and attempts to force outcomes. This can lead to frustration, burnout, or even self-sabotage. Passing the test requires a shift in perspective, viewing delays not as setbacks but as divine redirections. Patience also teaches humility. It reminds you that you are not in control of everything and that life unfolds in its own time. Those who pass this test develop a deeper trust in life's rhythms and an unshakable inner calm. Forgiveness is one of the most challenging spiritual tests, especially when the wounds run deep. This test asks you to release anger, resentment, and the desire for revenge, even when it feels justified. It's not about condoning the actions of others, but about freeing yourself from the weight of bitterness. Forgiveness begins with empathy. Understanding the humanity of those who hurt you doesn't excuse their behavior, but helps you see them beyond their mistakes. This perspective shifts the focus from punishment to healing. This test is deeply personal. It's not just about forgiving others, but also about forgiving yourself. Self-forgiveness is often harder because it involves confronting shame and guilt. Passing this test requires compassion for yourself as much as for others. The process of forgiveness is not linear. It's a journey that may involve setbacks and repeated efforts. Each step toward forgiveness, no matter how small, is a victory in itself. Forgiveness requires releasing the story of victimhood. While acknowledging the pain is important, clinging to it perpetuates suffering. Letting go of the identity of being wronged allows you to reclaim your power. Many fail this test because they misunderstand forgiveness as weakness. In reality, it's a profound act of strength. It takes courage to let go of pain and choose peace over anger. The rewards of forgiveness are immense. It heals emotional wounds, restores inner peace, and creates space for love and joy. Those who pass this test embody a grace that transforms not only their lives but also the lives of those around them. One of the most profound spiritual challenges is the test of self-identity. In a world filled with labels, roles, and societal expectations, it's easy to lose sight of who you truly are. This test begins when life strips away the external markers of identity, leaving you to confront the question, who am I? This test is not about the superficial labels we often use to define ourselves, our jobs, relationships, or possessions. Instead, it's about peeling back the layers to uncover the essence of your soul. This process is often accompanied by a deep sense of loss or confusion as old identities fall away, leaving a void that can feel unsettling. The test of self-identity often arises during major life transitions. A job loss, the end of a relationship, or a move to a new city can trigger a crisis of identity. These moments challenge you to redefine yourself outside the context of your past roles. This journey requires immense courage and vulnerability. It asks you to sit with discomfort and resist the urge to fill the void with new labels or distractions. The goal is not to create a new identity but to discover the timeless, unchanging core of who you are. Those who fail this test often do so because they cling to the familiar. They may rush to replace old roles with new ones, avoiding the deeper work of self-discovery. True growth, however, comes from embracing the uncertainty and allowing yourself to evolve naturally. Meditation and journaling can be powerful tools during this test. By reflecting on your thoughts and feelings, you begin to notice patterns and beliefs that no longer serve you. Over time, you uncover the deeper truths about your nature and purpose. Passing the test of self-identity brings profound freedom. You learn that your worth is not tied to external achievements or relationships. Instead, it resides in the inherent value of your existence. This realization becomes the foundation for a life of authenticity and fulfillment. Unconditional love is often romanticized, but living it is one of the hardest spiritual tests. This test challenges you to love without expectations or conditions. It asks you to extend compassion and kindness even when it's difficult or undeserved. This test often begins with loving yourself. Many struggle to offer themselves the same kindness they extend to others. It requires confronting self-criticism, shame, and the belief that love must be earned. Only when you learn to love yourself unconditionally can you extend that love to others. Unconditional love is not about tolerating abuse or ignoring boundaries. It's about recognizing the divine spark in every being, even those who challenge or hurt you. This perspective allows you to separate the person from their actions, offering compassion without enabling harmful behavior. The test of unconditional love often arises in relationships. Whether it's a difficult family member, a challenging coworker, or a strained friendship, these situations test your ability to love without demanding anything in return. They push you to grow beyond ego-based love, which seeks validation or reciprocation. Failure in this test often stems from unmet expectations. When love is conditional, it becomes transactional. I'll love you if. Passing this test requires letting go of these conditions and choosing love as a state of being rather than a response to others. Spiritual practices such as prayer and gratitude can help during this test. They remind you of the abundance of love within and around you, reducing the need to seek it externally. Over time, you become a source of love, radiating it effortlessly to others. Those who pass this test experience a profound shift in their relationships. They find that unconditional love transforms not only themselves but also those around them. It creates a ripple effect, healing wounds and fostering deeper connections based on acceptance and respect. Trusting the unknown is a spiritual test that challenges your faith in the unseen forces guiding your life. It asks you to move forward without guarantees, trusting that everything will unfold as it should. This test often feels like walking into darkness, unsure of what lies ahead. This test arises when life throws you into uncertainty. Whether it's a career change, a health crisis, or a personal loss, these moments strip away your sense of control. They force you to confront the fear of the unknown and the discomfort of not knowing what's next. Trusting the unknown requires a deep faith in the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in. It's about believing that life is not random, but purposeful, and that even challenges are part of your soul's growth. This faith becomes your anchor in turbulent times. The hardest part of this test is surrendering the need for control. Many people struggle with letting go, fearing that without control, their lives will spiral into chaos. However, control is often an illusion. This test teaches you to replace control with trust and fear with faith. Meditation and mindfulness are invaluable during this test. By staying present, you learn to appreciate the journey rather than fixating on the destination. Each moment becomes an opportunity to trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Those who fail this test often do so because they resist change. They cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves them, out of fear of the unknown. Passing this test requires embracing change as a natural and necessary part of life. Trusting the unknown opens the door to endless possibilities. It allows you to move beyond your comfort zone and discover new opportunities for growth and joy. This test, when passed, becomes a gateway to a life of freedom and adventure. The test of solitude is a profound spiritual challenge that confronts you with the reality of being alone, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. It asks, can you find peace and fulfillment within yourself, or do you rely on external validation to feel whole? Solitude strips away the distractions of the world, forcing you to face yourself. In this silence, insecurities, regrets, and unresolved emotions often rise to the surface. This can feel overwhelming, as many of us use relationships, work, or entertainment to avoid these internal confrontations. This test often arises when life isolates you, whether through the loss of a relationship, a move to a new place, or a period of intense introspection. It's during these moments that you discover the depths of your own strength and the richness of your inner world. Passing this test requires learning to befriend yourself. It's about cultivating self-compassion, patience, and the ability to sit with your thoughts without judgment. Meditation and journaling can be powerful tools for navigating this journey. The test of solitude is not about cutting yourself off from others, but about finding a balance between connection and independence. It teaches you to value relationships as enhancements to your life, rather than necessities for your happiness. Failure in this test often comes from an inability to tolerate the discomfort of being alone. Many rush to fill the void with superficial connections or distractions, missing the opportunity for deep personal growth. Those who pass this test emerge with a profound sense of self-worth and resilience. They learn that their happiness does not depend on others, and this inner stability becomes the foundation for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. The test of forgiveness challenges you to release resentment and anger, even when you feel justified in holding on to it. It asks you to free yourself from the chains of the past and embrace the healing power of letting go. Forgiveness is not about condoning the actions of others or forgetting the pain they caused. It's about choosing peace over bitterness and understanding that holding on to anger often hurts you more than the person who wronged you. This test often arises after a betrayal, loss, or deep emotional wound. It's easy to fall into a cycle of blame and resentment, replaying the hurt in your mind. But this cycle only deepens the pain, keeping you trapped in the past. Passing this test requires a shift in perspective. It involves recognizing that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, not the person who hurt you. It's about reclaiming your power and refusing to let past pain dictate your future. This test also asks you to confront your own imperfections. When you acknowledge your capacity to make mistakes, it becomes easier to extend grace to others. This humility fosters empathy, which is a cornerstone of true forgiveness. Failing this test can lead to a life of bitterness and mistrust. It can poison relationships and rob you of the joy and freedom that come from living in the present. Forgiveness, though challenging, is a path to liberation. Those who pass this test often describe a sense of lightness and peace. They realize that forgiveness is not about weakness but immense strength. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and its ability to choose love over hate. Patience is a virtue often tested by life's delays and challenges. This spiritual test asks you to endure with grace, even when progress feels slow or outcomes are uncertain. It challenges your ability to trust in divine timing rather than forcing your own. The test of patience often arises when you are pursuing a goal, healing from a wound, or waiting for clarity in a confusing situation. It can feel frustrating and even disheartening, as it requires you to surrender control and accept the pace of life.